This is a quick cardio and conditioning practice that can serve you anytime during your cycle. So you'll find lots of guidance in the description of this video below for where the sweet spot is for each phase. So you're breaking up the intervals in different ways depending on the intensity and the exertion. In the follicular phase, we're working with 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. In the ovulatory phase, we're turning up the intensity, so you're getting more work done with each interval. You're maxing out. So we're doing that just for 30 seconds and then resting for 30 seconds. In the luteal and menstrual phases, we're looking more for a steady state, low intensity effort. So we just have 1 minute continuous intervals. You'll use the last 5 to 10 seconds just to transition from one exercise to the next. This workout was definitely a welcome reminder that there's so much work to be done in different heart rate zones. So I'm in my luteal phase, was really keeping it low intensity today, and it still felt like such a good workout. Good sweat, good breath, and without the intensity. So I definitely wasn't gasping for air or overexerting at any point, but it felt like just the right amount. So it's that Goldilocks zone. And we have that in each different phase. So I want you to really maybe explore this practice once a week for a full cycle and really experience the different heart rate zones. It's going to help you tune into what your body signals are for those different working sweet spots. And it'll help you connect more deeply to your breath and these other signals in other workouts. So in your strength work, so that you can really kind of customize the effort and support your physiology, support your metabolism in any phase. So this is an embodied practice of body literacy for today. I also love this type of practice because it demonstrates that it doesn't have to be high intensity or high impact to really be effective. So all of the movements that are in this practice can be low impact. There's a couple of options to turn it up if you wish, but there's so much available in those low impact options. So you can really be serving your body from start to finish. This one is 21 minutes long. We have 7 different exercises that we're completing in 3 rounds, and it's designed to be sort of a standalone practice. So we'll use the first 5 minutes to warm the body nice and slow. Similarly, in the video, you'll see me using the last 5 minutes as the cool down so that we can kind of resolve that stress response and be on our way at the end. However, if you're in the first half of your cycle, kind of more of those peak performance phases, and you're wanting to push and really challenge your conditioning during that full 21 minutes, go ahead and use the warm-up and cool-down that's provided in the description below. It'll put you at around 31 minutes for your practice, so still something very sustainable, very doable, but you'll really support your performance by warming up first, and you'll support your recovery by cooling off after. You'll allow yourself to really put in that 100% effort during the 21-minute workout. Again, I've included a movement tutorial, a little bit of a preview, linked in a separate video below. In that one, I'll break down all of the different options for your movement patterns. I'll show where there's opportunity for adding a little bit of explosive movement if you wish, or kind of how to scale it back if that's what you're feeling for today. It's also a great way if you're taking this to a gym, or maybe you're in an office setting, or you're wanting to work without the video because you're trying to keep it a little bit more quiet. You can check out that preview first. You'll get all the movement, all of the cues that you need, and then you can move in your own way. So let's get to work. Let's jump right into our cardio practice for today. This one doesn't include a separate warm-up, so you're going to be using the first 5 minutes in kind of a slower pace just to allow your body to warm up. And similarly, we'll use the last 5 minutes of this practice as a cool down. I'll also link to an optional warm-up and cool down if you have extra time, but otherwise, this one is just 21 minutes from start to finish. I am in my luteal phase, so I'm using the 1 minute continuous intervals. If you're in follicular, you're doing 40-20. If you're in ovulatory, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, with more speed, more power, more pace. So you'll see me kind of taking the low impact versions, moving nice and slow. No shame in doing that no matter what phase you're in, but I want to show you that you can still get a great conditioning workout in the luteal phase. So first up, we are starting with a bear press to a kick through. So I'll demonstrate from the side here. You're simply going to straighten the legs and then rotate and rotate. Let's begin in 2. 1. So we're going to straighten the legs, come back, rotate to the side, kick it through, and kick it through. Come back to center, press the leg straight, kick it through, and kick it through. So luteal phase, you're moving nice and slow. Menstrual phase, you're taking it easy, low intensity. If you're in the follicular phase or the ovulatory phase, you're picking up the pace, you're using that deeper breath. It's all about connecting to that perceived exertion so that you can stay in the sweet spot for each phase. So I'm going to take about the last 5 to 10 seconds of each exercise just to transition, even though we're looking to move pretty continuously in the luteal phase. We'll get one more rep, and then we're coming up for a reverse lunge to a curtsy with a knee hug. So here we take the hands behind the head. We're going to step it back into a lunge, pulse to the curtsy, hug that knee to the elbow. Take it back, reverse lunge, cross behind, knee to elbow. Slow it down if you need to. I can feel my breath getting a little bit elevated there. So you want to be working on conditioning here. So it's okay if your breath rate goes up. But if you're in the luteal phase, you're hovering right below that high intensity threshold. If you're in follicular and ovulatory, you're blowing past it and working in those higher intensity zones. If you're in the menstrual phase, you're taking more space. Maybe you pause at the top of each movement. Luteal phase, we're looking for that endurance zone. So it's that continuous steady state effort. From here, we're just going to switch sides. So you can shake it out, come to the second side. Reverse lunge, tuck it behind, and hug that knee. A couple of things to note. I want you to hug that knee close to the front heel when you come through the curtsy so that you're not putting too much strain on that front knee. I want you also to focus not on crunching the upper body to that knee, but really lifting that knee toward your elbow. After this, we're coming back into our bear plank position. So get ready to transition, kind of alternate between a standing exercise and more of a quadruped exercise. Should feel some of the heat in the legs here. We've got 10 more seconds. If you're in the 1 minute intervals here, and come down, hand release push up to a bear walk. So we lower all the way to the belly, release the hands, push up, walk it into bear plank and out, back down, hand release, push up. If you're in the follicular phase or ovulatory, you might be hopping the feet in and out. I'm in luteal, keeping it low, so I'm just walking in and out. Breathing here. So again, in the first half of the cycle, you're resting either for 20 seconds of each minute or 30 seconds, depending on the exertion, the intensity. So in the ovulatory phase, you're looking to max out, which is why we have just 30 seconds of work. Come down. Next up is our step out drop taps with a reach. We come to standing. We're going to step it out. Pretty narrow, doesn't have to be a huge step, and reach overhead. So you're covering some ground with the arms, like floor to ceiling. As you reach, come up onto the toes each time. You get to customize the effort here. So you add more power, more pace if you need more, or you're stepping it out and reaching up nice and slow if you're in the menstrual phase. Lots of ways to customize this workout so it can serve you throughout your cycle. Conditioning work, so important for cardiovascular health, for your metabolic health. So it's beneficial throughout your cycle when we add that layer of cyclical intelligence. Staying upright here, take the feet nice and wide. Bring your hands to your chest. We're going to push as you come into that side lunge. push through center, push. I'm slowing it down because I feel my heart rate a little bit too high right now. I'm at about 140. I want to be closer to 125, 130. So follicular phase, you're pushing nice and quick. Luteal phase, I'm slowing it down. Push it out. Really feel the chest and back working in this one. We're going to come back down to the mat in just about 15 seconds for our crab toe touch. That last exercise will close out the first round. We've got 2 more to go. You can always come down when you're ready. Crab toe touch. So you can always stick around for just 2 rounds if you want something more like a 14-minute practice, or you're staying in it for the full 21 minutes in this toe touch. Keep the hands nice and close to the body, nice and close to the hips, and you're reaching. Try not to twist too much, keeping the shoulders and the hips square, really tapping into that core strength here. Getting a bit of tricep work, have some weight bearing on the hands here. After this, we're switching to our bear plank press with a kick through in 10. Start to make your way there. Transition, bear plank. And let's begin. Press those legs straight, come back, kick through, and kick through. Straighten the legs. Again, it's not like downward dog in that bear press, but you're really focusing on just the legs straightening. So you want to activate the quads, kick through, and press. And this one I like doing barefoot so that you can pivot on those toes. Make sure that you're maintaining the integrity of the bear plank in between. So hips are staying directly over the knees, shoulders are directly over the wrists. Coming up to your reverse lunge pulse in about 15 seconds here. Kick it through, kick it through. Travel that distance, bring a hand, opposite hand to heart. Let's slowly, mindfully come up. Bring your hands to your head. We've got reverse lunge to curtsy. Find that pulse. Hug the knee up and in. Reverse lunge, curtsy, and hug the knee. I want you to keep pressing your head into your hands to keep the chest nice and elevated. So if you're in the follicular phase or the ovulatory phase, you might be approaching breathless. If you're with me in the luteal phase, your breathing has changed, but you're not gasping for air. You can still kind of stay on top of the breath there. Menstrual phase, breathing is nice and easy. Turn inward, tune into the sound of your breath so that you can hear the signals from your body more clearly. We'll switch sides now. Shake it out right into the next. Find that pulse, hug the knee. This type of movement, some of my favorite for any time in the cycle, especially if you've been with me enjoying the heavy strength work. I love to mix it up with a good body weight conditioning day. Really helps you connect more deeply to the signals from your body, the sensations. So I want you to become sort of infinitely present to what's happening. Where do you feel the work? Where do you feel your breath? Where do you feel any heat? This type of work can give you a little bit of that post-workout buzz if you let it. We're going to be coming back down to our push-up. Start to make your way there. Hand release push-up with the bear walk. Lower all the way down. Lift the hands, hug the elbows. Press it up. Walk in and out. Again, if you want a little more in follicular and ovulatory phases, you're hopping the feet in and hopping them back out. Make sure you release the hands all the way at the bottom, and then really push the floor away while maintaining the integrity, the spinal alignment. So your body lifts as a unit and lowers as a unit. We've got 20 more seconds here. And then we're coming to those step out squats with a reach. Should be feeling a little bit of heat by now. We're about halfway through this practice. Come up, step out, drop squat with a reach. Here we go. Step it out, tap the floor, and reach. So I want you to keep your chest upright the whole time, especially in the second half of the cycle. We want to make sure we're getting that expansive breath, really tapping into your inhales and exhales. Again, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit here to stay in the sweet spot. It's very easy to overdo it. It's easy to push hard. What the artistry is with cyclical fitness is knowing how to dial it down, how to turn down the intensity. As women, we've been trained to push hard. Mindsets like no pain, no gain, or the only bad workout is the one you didn't do. We need to change that mindset. Side lunge push, here we go. Push, come up and push. So I want you to really stay empowered in that choice to turn down the intensity, to move in a different way, knowing that you are supporting your body. You're doing more with less, especially in the second half of the cycle. When doing too much or excessive exercise is competing with your metabolic priorities, with your reproductive priorities. Instead, we let your body do the important work she was meant to do, and then we come back strong in the next cycle. Doesn't mean you can't work hard. This is still hard work, but it is intelligent. Last 3, 2, 1. Crab toe touches next. Come down and lift. Tap a toe and toe. Again, try to keep most of the body still. So hips and shoulders, those structures stay fixed. And that's what helps you integrate the core. And then we bring in that asymmetrical loading with a little bit of mobility. If the toe touch is too much, you can also be tapping opposite knees. Sometimes that can produce a little bit of strain in the hamstrings. So I want this to feel sustainable. You are closing out round 2 here. Just 7 more minutes to go. You got this. Should be feeling good by now. Nice and warm. And we're going to switch to our bear plank. Come for that bear press and kick through. Here we go. Straighten the legs. Come to bear plank. Kick through and kick through. So if you're sticking around for a separate cool down, you can stay in your working zone through to the very end. If you're looking for this to complete your workout, after the next exercise, I want you to shift into more of a cooling mode. So you have those options there. You can stay for the 5-minute cool down or start to slow down your pace after our next exercise. Come through center. You might complete in the next 2 exercises before shifting to cooling mode, since they are single-sided, just to keep the effort even from one side to the other. Let's get ready to transition. Nice and slow. Come up to standing. Curtsy lunge pulse. Here we go. Hands behind the head. We pulse. Hug that knee. Listen for your breath. If you're in the luteal phase, can you slow it down even just a little bit? Find that nice control in each movement, kind of breaking up the discrete parts of this pattern. So the lunge, the curtsy, and the knee hug, letting them each have a place so there's no rush from one to the next. Stay in it. And we've got just about 5 more seconds. Transition to the other side, shake it out, and we'll come right back in. So lunge, curtsy, knee hug. We'll shift to that cooling mode with the next exercise so that you can complete your practice, be on your way. Love to have a good short practice, especially on days where you feel like you might not be able to squeeze it in, but then you're so glad you did when it's done. This type of work is great for promoting circulation, for clearing any energetic stagnation that might start to accumulate through the cycle. Perhaps it's something you weren't able to clear with the last period, or maybe you're nearing the end of a cycle and you just need to move that energy through. Last 3, 2, and 1. Hand release, push up to bear walk. So I want you to focus more on the stretch here and slow it down. Nice and easy. You might even bring this into a little bit of a cobra. To stretch the front body. Focus on lengthening your exhales here as part of your cool down. Again, if you're sticking around for the separate cool down, you can still be in that power mode where you're pushing max effort in the first half of the cycle, or staying lower intensity, but still in the working zone for the luteal phase. We've got about 10 more seconds here. We'll come out to our step out with the reach. Slowly start to come up, and we'll step it out to that squat and reach it up. So if you're in cooling mode with me, you're moving so slowly. You're feeling every part of that squat, every part of that full body stretch as you reach overhead. Still good work. It all counts. I want us to uncouple the association between sweating profusely, exhaustion, calorie burn. Those things do not necessarily equate to a good workout. A good workout is one that mirrors the wisdom of your body, that mirrors those energetic shifts so that you can stay in a state of balance, not tipping the scales toward depletion, but still doing the work. We're here now, stepping nice and wide for that push. Really want you to feel the stretch across the chest at the top and that deep side lunge, opening the inner thighs, feeling a little bit of a stretch across the bowl of the pelvis. We've got this. We're almost to the end. After this, we'll finish with a nice, slow crab toe touch, and then you'll be on your way either to a cool down or to the rest of your day. About 20 more seconds here. Again, you're really feeling that stretch across the chest. How wide can you take the hands? Can you feel like you were pushing your hands up against a wall or through water? Just that little bit of resistance and activation. Come down to the mat, crab toe touch to finish it out. Here we go. You can take this nice and slow. Really feel that broadening across the collarbones. Again, hips and shoulders stay nice and level, nice and even, not really twisting or rotating. Listen for a change in your breath as we come back down from the peak of our workout arc, closing it out for another 25 seconds or so. Keep the hips lifted here, but the lower back is neutral. So you've got that very clear connection to the deep core. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down, shake out your wrists. Take whatever path you need up to standing. Maybe come into a ball post squat, and then nice and easy, roll up bone by bone, all the way to standing. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale, and exhale, sigh. Shake out the shoulders. If you are moving into your cool down, you can click on the separate video linked below. You can use that one as a separate video. Otherwise, if you cool down with me, this is the end of your practice. I want to thank you for showing up for your conditioning work, for sort of changing your relationship to cardio as something that can really serve your body, something that can be very energizing and not depleting. It's not boring. It can be infinitely interesting when we do it in a way that serves our body. So thank you for being here, for letting your body be moved.